Hello, I'm Penelope Mavor, and welcome back to the Earth Converse podcast, where we explore our relationship and conversations with the earth, all in the hope of inspiring a deeper connection with ourselves, each other, and the earth that is our home. In this episode, I want to touch on a theme that has been an important thread in the Earth Converse podcast conversations so far, and is also very much in my mind and heart, given the festive season and the time that we're in, and perhaps in your mind and heart too. And that theme is ceremony. I will touch on the need for it, the context of COVID, and the idea and practice of self-generated ceremony, what ceremony may look for you individually and perhaps in your work and community. And in offering my thoughts, I invite you to reflect on yours. Every so often, I will follow a particular reflection point with the forest sound. Pause at this point or not, it is up to you. So to begin, when I say ceremony, what comes up for you? If it helps you to supplement the word like rituals or practices, please do, whatever works for you. But what comes up? For me, ceremony is a conscious connection with ourselves and the moment we're in. It's an acknowledgement of an event, a transition in our lives, usually a beginning or a conclusion, an acknowledgement of past, present, and future. We need ceremony. Ceremonies are integral to our human story and evolution. All cultures use nature-based ceremonies to mark life's significant milestones and to mark seasonal or recurrent events or social customs. I'm no expert, but most have come from nature and respecting those cycles of nature, and they've been taken and adapted in religions and cultures. With ceremony, we respect and embrace the richness of life. Winter or summer solstice, Christmas, Boxing Day, New Year's, Three Kings, all these beautiful ceremonies have all been done differently in this time, in this COVID time. Probably not the way we would have liked. But we did what we could with what we had. I certainly really appreciated the creativity that my own community showed in still ensuring that the Kings delivered the children's presents this year. But do we want a repeat of this? Coming of age, pregnancy and childbirth, marriage, loss, changes in job or location, significant illness, dying and death, these are all natural times for ceremonies of transition. And how have those been honoured in these COVID times from your perspective? And it's coming up to a year. Everyone will soon have their My Birthday During Covid-19 story. Yes, we are doing what we can with Zoom ceremonies, masks and hand gel. But is this the way we want our collective ceremonies to be held? All these COVID measures are about avoiding death, something humans haven't been able to do so far. We are wanting to avoid death, but we are leaving people to die in terrible circumstances. People are slipping out of our workplaces, communities, and world without human touch, without hugs, and without the honouring love and energy that a physical human gathering can give. We have left newborns distant from their extended family. We have drastically reduced our parties, our fun, our spontaneity, our celebration of life as a collective. It saddens me that our society is valuing risk aversion above all else, above connection, celebration, empathy, adventure, challenging of limits. Here in Mallorca at this time of the year, we should be dancing around the fire and challenging demoni. Alas, it is not to be. Centuries-old traditions stopped. How do you feel about the lack of collective ceremony in these times? We need ceremony. Ceremony lifts us up. ceremony lifts up crises and events. It helps us make sense of them and makes them sacred. When we engage in ceremony, we see our part in the bigger picture. We step in the flow of the human nature connection and tune into the inherent wisdom of these experiences rather than just surviving them, managing them, getting through them. Right from the start, with our first Earth Converse podcast guest, Emerald, she talked about ceremony and also talked of self-generated ceremonies. Do you remember? This is where we can do it ourselves. We don't wait for anybody else. We undertake ceremony as an individual in the collective. We unite with our own personal power, story, and needs, with the greater power, story, and gifts of the universe. And I wonder, what ceremonies do you undertake yourself? In ceremony, we can symbolically enact where we are now and open ourselves up to receive guidance on where we might go next. And we use ritual and process to give structure and allow spontaneity to emerge. So typically, ceremonial parts may be, firstly, we have an intention, a purpose, a question, a reason, and then we prepare for it with that intention in mind. And then we open the ceremony. We start it, we begin, we open the space. And then we allow the ceremony to work its way through us. We get out of our head and feel into the experience. We stay open-minded and open-hearted, a state of awareness and allowing. We let it unfold and trust our instincts and find this way to embody the experience, live the experience, which feels meaningful. And then when the time feels right, we close the space, maybe give gratitude. And then we remain open to what the experience stirs in us going forward, knowing that something has already changed, been honoured. So with this in mind, what could you explore in this ceremonial way? And I go back to the wisdom of Meredith Little, who I've been quoting a lot. She's the co-founder of Rites of Passage organisation School of Lost Borders. And she has an article which I'll post on the episode extras about self-generated ceremonies. And she says, self-generated ceremony reinforces the significance of the border crossings in our lives, while supporting us to formally mark closures, epiphanies, and new beginnings. She says, without ceremony, we can become caught in the in-between world, lost in the tension of ambivalence. And I wonder if this is a feeling that you have got. And taking it to the work world, it may be an oversimplification, but I think one of the reasons many mergers and acquisitions or work projects fail to achieve their desired outcomes may be attributed to the lack of ceremony to help people work through the changes. So many of these events are underplayed. People are expected to be in different organisations and come together without a proper closure, proper signalling of a beginning. The emotional and psychological transitions which people experience as a result of change like that are ignored. People get lost in these in-between worlds. And you can see it. There are people who have been in an organisation for 20 years but still identify strongly and will even use the name of the organisation that was first acquired. And I wonder where you've seen this lack of ceremony turn up in the workplace and what impact that has had. From how we start our day our work, our project, our resolution, we can become intentional and ceremonial. We bring the sacredness in. We give purpose to our lives. Again, I'll bring in Meredith Little's writings, this time with her husband, Stephen Foster. This is the book of the Vision Quest. They write, almost anything you do will have ceremonial overtones, especially if you do it with awareness and reverence. They go on to say, there is no right or wrong way to perform a ceremony that comes from the heart. And they go on, the ceremonies you will use will undoubtedly be relevant to your own life situation. You may want to use sound or music in some way, or you may want to use silence. Perhaps you will feel the need to dance or to be still. You may want to empower yourself or some symbol, or call in unseen spirits or witnesses. You may decide to abstain from certain actions, sleep, movement, easeful postures, or to make meaningful offerings or sacrifices for purposes of amends or expiation. It is important that you realize you are ceremonially free to bury, burn, smash, change your name, bathe, vow, draw blood, cut your hair, heap stones, chant, rattle, dance, sing, tie knots, light a candle, go nude, make gifts, use incense, pray, kneel, meditate, night walk, paint yourself, or behave in any other way that is meaningful to yourself. So I wonder what this has stirred in you. In the last episode, number 35, anthropologist, medicine woman, and founder of Mujer Cíclica, Sophia Style, offered us a ceremony for Imbolc, the Celtic festival of regeneration, held between winter solstice and the spring equinox, around the 1st and 2nd of February. So you might want to re-engage with that. In any time of our lives, we can bring in ceremony. May bringing in ceremony to your life comfort and inspire you. Maybe listening to the Earth Converse podcast becomes a nourishing and inspiring ceremony for you each week. So we'll put a pause here and see you back for the next Earth Converse podcast. In the meantime, enjoy Earth, one conversation at a time.